guys!
Hello!
So you know how we love to do tag videos?
Yeah, the ones where we can just sit and talk.
We love those.
Because that's we're the best at talking.
We are. We should have a job in just talking. There's a tag that's been going around.
Yeah.
It's called My First Time. And it's been going on for like the last several weeks,
a lot of people have done it.
Yeah, so we thought we'd jump in and do it too.
Yeah, why
just sit
not?
around and let you guys get to know us even more.
Yeah. We, nobody in particular tagged us to do this.
No, we're just jumping on
We're just
train.
like, hey, that's going around. We want to do it. But we pulled up the Daily Cupcakes channel. She has actually listed the questions. A lot of people didn't list the questions in their more info bar. So we're going to go off of her little questions.
And we haven't really looked at the questions. Like, we've watched a couple of videos of people doing them, like the Daily Cupcake and Lisa. But I don't actually remember all the questions.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've written them out or anything. We're just going to go.
Yeah, and she added in a question at the bottom too. Yeah. We're just going to answer that too.
I'm going to follow her.
Okay.
Lead.
Are you guys ready to hear about all of our firsts?
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh. Okay. Do you still talk to your first love?
I almost said a bad word. No. No, no, no.
Yeah, that would be a negative.
No. Sorry, I'm seeing a hair.
Negative.
No.
I haven't even run into my first love. And
thank goodness I haven't.
I've not run into him in a really long time.
How old were you when you fell in love for the first time?
Oh, I think my first love was 14 or 15. How old would you say?
My first love was... I would say I was a senior in high school.
Okay, I'm thinking
I may have said, "Ooh, I love you," stupid stuff like that. But real love was my senior year. That lasted from my senior year through my senior year of college.
Yeah, that was a long love.
He turned out to be not a nice boy.
Yeah,
so
it ended up being a bad love. Okay. All right. What was your first alcoholic drink?
Okay, this is silly, but I had an uncle that when I was about 5 or 6 gave my brother and I a sip of beer and did it on purpose. And I think
I know which uncle this was.
Not that one.
Oh, not
surprisingly,
that one?
not that one. One that I like, and he gave us a sip of beer at my grandma's house, and my brother and I thought it was the nastiest stuff ever, which is really funny because I did not start drinking, and actually, I didn't start drinking beer until after college, and I didn't start enjoying it until probably... yeah, like in my late 20s.
Yeah.
And my brother doesn't drink beer. So I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that he did that. My parents didn't know he was doing it. And I think it worked for us.
Yeah. I think that one of my first alcoholic drinks was Zima. Do you guys remember Zima?
I never had it.
Or like Bartles and James. Like,
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
That was one of probably my first as like at a friend's house and had a sip of it and was like, ooh, what is that? It's like juice.
Yeah, and I remember with the Zimas, we used to drop Jolly Ranchers in them. Yeah, don't.
I missed the Zima craze. I missed that.
That was I was not being a good girl. Mom, you don't hear me saying that. Yeah, and I don't drink beer, just for the record, too. I despise beer. I hate everything about beer. But
I like beer.
I've always liked my fruity girly drinks.
Yeah, she does.
But recently, tequila's been my drink of choice. Just give me the Patron.
Skip baby steps
and
and
then
go on to the real deal.
All I need is like 2 drinks and I'm done. Yeah. What was your first job?
Well, I mean, I did like babysitting and stuff, and I actually cut grass and got paid for it at one point. But I'd say my first job where I had to like put on dress clothes, it was at JCPenney. I think I was in the 10th grade. I asked to work. My parents never made me get a job. I wanted to make my own money, and it was jewelry and watch repair. So I put in new batteries and fixed links, and I had no idea what I was doing. It was fun for a while. I did it for like the holiday break. I did it for probably 3 months.
Okay. My first paying job was that I taught gymnastics to like 3 and 4 year olds. Like I did gymnastics growing up, and my friend in high school and I actually picked up a little bit of money by teaching like 3 and 4 year old little girls like how to do forward rolls and stuff.
Cute.
It was cute. It was fun. What was your first car?
White Mercury Capri convertible.
And mine was like a lavender-ish gray Dodge Neon.
Awesome.
2-door sport.
I had that car forever. I had it forever.
I only had mine for like 2 years until the engine blew up. I don't think I ever changed the oil.
Oh, no.
Or did anything that you should do.
I've only had three cars as an adult. That car, a Nissan Xterra, which I loved, and I drive an older Acura right now, and I've only had 3 cars.
Oh my God, I've had so many.
1 white, 2 silver. There you go.
I can think of at least 6 cars I've had.
That's Wes.
Yeah.
Wes has had a lot.
Oh, wake back up, phone. Who was the first person to text you today?
Mindy.
Yeah, Jamie.
Mindy was the first person to text me this
I
morning.
was like, hey, when you come over, can you bring a Kong for Ruger? Because we couldn't find our Kong.
Our dogs don't like those Kong toys. They're kind of indestructible.
Yeah.
So I brought him 2 little ones.
So he was a happy camper when she
I have
brought
to
him.
bribe. I have to bribe my little nephews.
No, you don't have to bribe. Who was the first person you thought of this morning?
Wes, because he got up really, really early.
Yeah, I have to say Chris because he's the one that woke me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I slept really late this morning too. I've been doing that a lot here lately. And then who was your first grade teacher?
Mrs. Barksdale.
Was she nice?
She was nice. Yeah, she was nice. But I enjoyed my kindergarten teacher a lot, Mrs. Andrews. She was the best.
Yeah, my first grade teacher was Mrs. Taylor, and she was very mean. And was stark contrast to my kindergarten and my second grade teachers who were so sweet.
Yeah.
Mrs. Taylor would pull the boys by their ears and the girls by their ponytails.
I'm telling you, kids today have no idea what it was like to grow up back in the day because, no.
She was mean. She was not nice. I did not like Miss
Miss
Taylor.
Barksdale was okay. She wasn't as lovey-dovey with us, I remember, as, you come from a kindergarten teacher that's so sweet and cuddly. Yeah.
I liked my second grade teacher the best. Her name was Mrs. Bailey, and she used to pay the girls 25 cents to play with her hair.
That's for another video.
You could not do that now, but she had really pretty hair, and she just liked for us to, do our hair like this, and maybe, pretend braid it. I mean, we were in second grade.
If I pay you 25 cents,
I know. Now the cost is
now it's weird. Now that's just weird. Okay.
Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? Zoe's trying to answer this question for us.
I was summer before my senior year, and my first plane ride was to England.
Oh, wow. Talk about jumping right
I was scared
off.
to death that I was going to get on that plane and have, motion sickness.
Zoe says that her first plane ride was, can you please let me in? I want to come upstairs and take you down. My first plane ride was, actually I have to think about this for a second. I think my first plane ride was to... My mom and dad traveled a lot when I was in my early teen years for what my mom did for a living. And sometimes I got to travel along with them. We made a lot of really long car trips, but I think my first official plane ride was somewhere we couldn't drive to. It was Michigan.
Oh, okay.
I think that was my first plane ride.
Cool.
We went to Detroit, which was quite the experience.
Nice. Detroit.
8 Mile.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Where did you go? Oh, no, that's the other. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk?
My first best friend was a girl named Shonda. I loved her. Her mom was my Little League basketball coach, one of the best coaches ever. We are on Facebook together. Now, I don't Facebook a lot. In my personal Facebook, I don't do it a lot, but I do get to see her and what she's doing every once in a while. But no, we don't talk regularly, but I think about her on and off because she and I were like 2 little peas in a pod. We had so much fun together when we were little.
And I have a hard time remembering this. That's so bad. I guess there wasn't a very memorable. I mean, I had lots of best friends. I mean, that's just it. I feel like every grade of school was kind of up until high school, and then I had a consistent best friend. Every year was a different best friend. It was whoever was in your class with you, or I mean, I had a friend named Emily. She was a year older than I was, but we rode the school bus together, so her and I became kind of best friends. And then I had a girl named Nicole. a girl named April.
When you're
It just
little, they
depends.
just rotate in and out.
And I don't remember which one was actually like the first.
I say Shonda has to be my first, and we stayed best friends from like elementary school, maybe first grade, kindergartenish, first grade, until we went to middle school. And in middle school, you get split up.
Yeah.
And one was on one hall and one was on the other. And we kept in touch and we stayed friends throughout high school, but we weren't that tight because it's just different classes.
And I don't keep in touch with any of them anymore. Where was your first sleepover?
I don't really remember. I would probably say I grew up with cousins that lived next door. My dad's sister lives next door to my parents, and probably it was there. But my parents weren't. I was telling Mindy this. My parents were never really the type that allowed me to sleep over at a lot of places.
Yeah.
Usually we had sleepovers at my house.
Yeah. I think I had a lot of sleepovers at my house too. Of those two friends that I just mentioned, Emily and Nicole, I'm pretty sure I slept over at both of their houses. I remember that Nicole had gerbils or guinea pigs, something like that.
Guinea pigs.
I specifically remember them being in her room when I slept over there.
I think if I were a parent right now and I had a kid that could sleep over, I think I'd be weird about whose house I let my kids sleep over.
Absolutely.
Don't you? I'd want to have them at my house and just deal with the noise and stuff and send them to someone else. Unless I really, really knew those parents.
Yeah,
nah.
absolutely.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Who was the first person you talked to today? Chris.
Yeah. At like 5:45 in the morning.
Oh gosh. Whose wedding were you in the first time?
I was a flower girl at the church that I grew up in. I was 5, and the Davises. I don't remember their first names, but it was the Davises, and they're still married. I think they're still married today. But yeah, I was a flower girl.
Yeah, when I
thought it was a super big deal.
Yeah, I think I was 5 or 6. I was a flower girl, and it was for my oldest sister Tracy's first marriage.
Nice.
Okay, what was the first thing you did this morning?
Honestly, I went potty. Number 1. And then I took my dogs outside.
Yeah.
Let them go potty.
Yeah, I took my dogs outside.
Yeah.
That was the very first thing.
Yeah.
Because actually, while I ended up sleeping in, I was up very early to feed them and let them potty.
Yeah.
So that was technically the first thing I did. What was your first concert you ever went to?
Mindy's going to be really, really, really jealous. It was Kenny Rogers.
Oh, God.
Kenny Rogers was my very first concert,
Yeah.
and it was fabulous. It was great.
If there was a question on here that was who was your first crush, mine would be Kenny Rogers.
I was probably 6 or 7 when I went to my first I think more like 6. I swear it was in kindergarten to first grade. I remember the girl and her mom went with my mom and I, and it was at the Richmond Coliseum. It was Kenny Rogers, and I was in heaven. I just loved it. Who didn't love Kenny Rogers?
Seriously.
But,
And I went to Busch Gardens, to like the amphitheater there, and saw the Oak Ridge Boys.
I used to love them.
I had a crush. I think my crush after Kenny Rogers was the guy on Oak Ridge Boys
I
that did the
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Half of you, 3/4 of you right
won't
now
know
are probably
what we're
like,
talking
what are
about.
you even talking about? What was your first broken bone?
Knock on wood.
Can't
I've
believe
not
this.
had one.
Yeah.
I've not had one.
My first broken bone was my wrist on my left arm. I broke it, snapped the 2 bones here, falling off of a swing set
Oof.
when I was 6.
I don't know how I survived childhood without
I don't
breaking
know.
something.
What was your first piercing?
Ears when I was like 3.
3?
I had them
Oh,
done when I
wow.
was super, super young.
Yeah, I waited till I think I was 10 or 11.
I think my mom got tired of people being like, "Oh, that's a cute little boy." I mean, I'm in a pink. I had short hair. No, I don't. I know that happened when I was a baby. But yeah, she got them done
Zoe.
when I was 3.
Sorry, y'all.
That's okay. At the Piercing Pagoda.
Piercing pagoda.
And I do remember this. Don't ask me how I have memories from being that little. But I remember going in the mall and looking at every mirror in the stores. I'd be like, I was so proud and happy to go show my dad too how cute they were.
I do remember the place that my mom took me to get my ears pierced, and it's a mall that is in a bad part of town now. I would never go to it. All right, first foreign country you've gone to?
England was my first.
Yeah, Mexico for my honeymoon
Mm-hmm.
was my first foreign country.
I haven't really been to many foreign countries. England and Mexico, is that it? Is that all where I've been? Oh, Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Okay, I've been to a couple.
Okay. First movie you remember seeing?
That would have to be either E.T. or one of the Star Wars. I think they came out around the same time, and my parents and my brother, we would go to movies a lot. And I remember it was a nighttime movie, and it may have been a late showing, and it was really exciting. Maybe it was Star Wars was the first one. Why do I want to say it was maybe Star Wars?
See, and I don't remember. I remember the theater that my mom and I used to go to was the Henrico Theater. It no longer exists, hasn't existed for a long time.
Mine doesn't exist either.
But I remember her and I going to movies there, and I know they would have been my first movies.
Yeah.
But I could not tell you what the movies were. I really couldn't even remotely guess.
I love the movies.
I do remember like movies. The first movie that like my parents dropped me off at like a movie theater with friends like that, because that was always a really big deal. It was really odd. We wanted to see Alive, which I don't know if you guys remember that movie. It was where the soccer players were on that plane that crashed in like the mountains, and they ended up having to eat people to survive.
Yeah, I never saw it.
And I'm like, I was in middle school when we saw that movie. Whatever. When was your first detention?
Detention? Never.
Never.
Good kids.
Yeah.
We didn't have detention.
No.
I never got in trouble.
Never. Who was your first roommate?
It would be college. I don't remember her name. She lasted about 3 days, and then I moved in with my friend Tiffany that I met. Went to Longwood University. It was Longwood College back then. And I lived with Tiffany for a couple years.
Yeah.
And it was good. We were both English majors, so it totally worked out.
I never really had a roommate. I mean, because I've never lived with another girl.
You haven't?
No, other than my sisters.
I lived with several girls.
When I first moved out on my own, I had a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. So I've lived with people that I've been in relationships with, and only 2 of those, an ex-boyfriend and Chris.
I lived with several
So
people.
I've not lived with a lot of people at all. I kind of like it that way.
I had a roommate for like a year and a half or a year. That was Tiffany. And then I moved into a house with 2 girls, 2 boys, and me. And then I lived in a house with 4 or 5 boys and me. I was friends with a lot of boys. And one of them I was dating. And then when I moved to Richmond, I had Carrie was a roommate. I lived by myself. Aaron was a roommate. Aaron and Sam were roommates. And then Wes. Oh my gosh, I've gotten around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything. If you had one wish, what would it be? I would have to say, oops, sorry, my phone. I would have to say the health of my family.
Yes.
Yeah.
To end all, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To end all the bad stuff and keep everyone you love safe and healthy.
Yes, definitely. What is something you would learn if you had the chance?
I have a lot. I have a lot of things.
I would love to learn. I took French in high school, but I lost it all. I would love to relearn French.
So that's a good question, because I would like to learn. I took Spanish, and I'm not that great at it. I feel like I could read it and understand it better than speak it. But for adults who want to learn another language, how do you do that? Is Rosetta Stone any good? Can someone tell us? But other things, this is going to sound really silly, but I swear to you, I would, in another life, I would be a DJ.
A DJ.
Not a radio DJ, like hosting, like a DJ.
Like spinning at the clubs.
Oh my gosh. There's something about the sound of scratching a record that just makes me insane. I just love it. Yeah, I want to be a DJ. And I don't know what my name would be, but I would want to learn how to do that. And I want to learn how to make clothes.
I would love to really know interior design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I have fun with it and I love to decorate, but if it was something that I could go back and say, not have gone down the career path that I did, I would have loved to have gone into some sort of either architecture, because I'm drawing plans and stuff, or interior design.
I see you doing that.
Yeah.
You see me being a DJ?
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Yes.
what would your name have been?
I don't know, but it would be awesome. I have to come back to you on that.
DJ Jizzy Rock.
I used to think about it. I used to think about what my name would be. They were all really dumb.
Alright, what were the first lessons you ever took?
Well, my parents had me in sports when I
Yeah.
was younger. I did softball for a little while. Oh, not only softball. Basketball. But dance lessons. I did dance lessons.
Yeah.
I never did any. Oh, I played the flute.
I never played a musical
We had to
instrument.
in the 4th grade or 5th grade. You had to.
Yeah,
it
I
was a
played a
class, and you
recorder.
had to. Oh, we did that too.
I did the recorder. That was
5th
all
grade.
I
It
ever
was
did.
5th grade that you had to take band, and you picked an instrument.
I did not do
And
that.
I wanted the saxophone, and someone told me that I couldn't have that, and he gave me the flute, and I hated it.
I would have wanted to play the drums.
That
would've
would
been
be
fun.
that should be something that we should want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
First
too.
lesson I ever took was probably gymnastics lessons when I was
Gymnastics,
little. I played softball for a little while too, but I don't really know if I call that lessons.
I did gymnastics in kindergarten,
You
and we never
did?
did it again. It was fun. Why didn't they keep me in that? Mindy could have been my teacher.
And I had to take dance classes. As I progressed with gymnastics, I had to incorporate dance lessons with that. So I took ballet, and you know what I would also love to learn?
What?
If I could go back and do something over again, I would have become a hip hop dancer. We
Oh.
both.
Fly Girls
I took-
and Living Color.
I took hip hop lessons at a dance
I remember you
class
telling
when
me
I
about
was
that.
like 20, maybe late teens or
Yeah.
like 20. Hip hop dance lessons. They
yeah,
were
we would be
fun.
backup dancers
Hell yeah.
for Beyonce or J Lo or well.
Can't you see us doing that right now? We'd
Somebody.
be the Fly Girls.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Daily Cupcake added the question: who was the first person beauty related that you ever watched on YouTube? Well, that would be the same person.
Yes.
Makeup by Tiffany D. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
was definitely. We were probably late. Obviously, YouTube has come a long ways
Yeah.
in the beauty department in the last like 5 years. A long
We
ways.
were late on the train though.
Yeah.
We started watching her a good year before we started our channel, I think.
Yeah,
And
and she
she's-
was already probably a year and a half to 2 years into her
Yeah.
YouTube career at the time. It was back when she was still filming in her closet.
Yes.
At her last or her 2 houses ago.
Yeah, she was the first one, and
Yeah.
then through her we found Lorraine
Yep.
at the current. Well, then it was the current.
The current
Boobies.
Burbies, the current Burbies.
And that's when she used to do more makeup stuff. She still does some, but she's more of a day in the life kind
yeah,
of.
which we still love
Yeah.
Lorraine for that.
So yeah, Makeup by Tiffany D,
Yeah.
of course.
She was the first.
Now we have so many people we watch.
So many.
But yeah, is that it?
That is it.
That was fun.
It
I
was
like those.
fun. Those are all.
If you guys if you guys do YouTube or you have a blog,
yeah, we tag
totally
you.
do this.
We tag you to do it however you would like to do it,
Yeah.
written or on a video.
Or if there's one question you think is fun and you want to just leave it in a comment below,
Yeah.
like your first movie or first concert or
Yeah.
whatever.
Answer
That'd be
some.
fun.
All right, this was a good time.
It was.
We like doing tags. All right,
Yeah.
I think that's all we have to add to
I
this
do, I
video.
think. Except one, yes, if you've ever tried Rosetta Stone, please let me know. I'm so curious. I don't know if it's a scam or not, but I would buy it and try it. Okay, that's it.
I think you can actually learn it from it.
I want to learn something.
Okay. All right, we're done.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.